What's going on, guys? This video are Oneways I use personally in my gameplay when I play Viper. If you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to let me know down in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the video. So get into the first one way, it's first short, come into this corner, line up at the diagonal part of this metal piece, and left click throw. Once it lands, you can play back here, and play for when they push. Next one way is if you want to play for showers, come into this corner, line up in the last sand color tile, and left click throw. You can play here behind triple, but as I prefer, I like playing over here behind truck and hold from this angle. If you want a one way for B garden, come into line with this pole here, and put your crosshair below the curved piece of this pillar on the line there, slide it over to where it sticks out from the wall, and then jumping right click. And then play behind the box on the left side, but you can also play from the right as well. If you want a one way for A main and play from heaven, come to this corner of the stone slab, aim your crosshair right above this square rectangle, and you have to do this during the buy phase, and then just left click, and then come up to heaven. Once the buy phase ends, you can pop that orb and just hold the angle there. If you want a one way from on top of Jin into A main, jump on top of Jin, and then line yourself up with the line on the ground with the corner of Jin, and then put your crosshair on the back metal plate that the lamp's connected to, and left click throw. Once you pop it, I like playing from the back side and holding from there. If they push Catalyst and you want a one way for it, come into the edge of this doorway here, aim at the bottom right of the lamp, and jump and right click. Once it lands, fall back into tree room and hold from this angle here. If you want a one way for mid arches, come into the middle of this doorway, and then don't forget to crouch, and then put your crosshair on the left side of where the helmet meets the head in the shadow area, and then left click throw. Once you fall back, I like to play in pizza and then hold the angle from there. For B main one way, wedge yourself into this corner next to the boat, and put the left firing indicator underneath this clasp on the metal loop here, and then jump and right click. Then fall back to the stairs, pop the orb, and hold from this angle here. You want a one way to hold from lane for the push, come in between the middle of the roof here, and then aim between the top cloud and the bottom cloud in the blue area, and then jump and right click. Once it lands, fall back into this back right corner, and then hold for the push there. You want a one way for the push onto A, line yourself up in between these four screws, and then find the dark area on the stone and go to the top of it, and then jump and right click. Then fall back towards mid doors, play on the ramp of it, and then you can see the push from there. You hold back of B and want a one way for when they push into elbow, come onto this first purple flower, then aim in the middle of the missing brick, and then jump and right click. And then once you fall back to where you play, they push, you can pop that orb and see their feet. For a one way into A main, come into this corner of A site, and then put the last toxic indicator above this triangle here on the wall. It'll look like this, then just left click throw. And once you pop the orb, you can play behind the pillar here and wait for the push. If you prefer playing from the heaven side, come into the middle of this metal beam, and then aim between the two dots on the wall and the left side of the corner, and then left click throw. It'll look a little funky, but it'll land. Once you pop it, you can fall back and wait for the door to open. Now for B side, if you come into the corner of the mossy beam here, and then put your crosshair on the light post here, and then just go slightly above where the curve's right here, and then left click throw. Then you can fall back a little bit and then play for the push there. If you want to play for a long one way, come into the heaven window, go into the middle of the wooden beam, come to the inside of this wooden beam, and then go up until you meet this black line, and then go above it a little bit more, and then left click throw. And then once you pop it, you'll be able to see their feet way before they see you. Now if you want to play in garage, come into the buy phase here, and once it ends, you can put your crosshair where the wire meets the wooden post, and then go into the shadow area here, and then left click throw. Then you want to fall back into the window, and once it pops, this is one of my favorite one ways because you see them way before they see you. Play for the back of C long, come against this wall, then go until these two pieces of wood meet, and then we want to crouch, and then place your crosshair where the gap is of the wooden block, and left click throw. And then fall back to this side of the box, and then you can be able to see their feet. If you want to play for C platform, come into this corner, come at the bottom of the black part of this horn, and then left click. And then I like playing on the step versus on top of platform because you get a better peek advantage, and you can even crouch for better cover. If you want a one-way for A main, come into the middle of this tower, and then put your crosshair on the top left corner of this 410 box and left click. And then when it pops, I put a gun for reference on where their feet would be. You can hold this angle and see them before they can swing you. For B site, I like going in the middle of yellow here and looking forward and pressing D until I'm in the middle of this crate. And I like going slightly above so I get the maximum pullback and then left click. And then once the buy phase ends, I like to fall back into snowman and play for when they push here. You have a very good one-way smoke. If you want a one-way for A main, come into the corner of buy phase here and then aim at the top right of where these two metals meet. And then when it ends, you can go on and left click throw. I like playing with an Ares or Odin over here so I can track them through the smoke here. If you want a one-way for the A ramp push, come into this corner and aim where the light meets this metal here and then left click throw. Then I like to fall back over here and then play for the push as they will have a very high disadvantage. Now if you want a one-way for heaven, come into the corner of buy phase and then aim where the two lights intersect. I know it's kind of hard to see my white crosshair, I'm sorry about that. But now you just want to left click throw, and then when it pops you can fall back here and play for when you see their feet. Now if you want a one-way for B main, come roughly in the middle of this tile here and aim at the bottom left of this triangle and left click throw. Then when you fall back, I like playing either on the stairs here to play for their feet, or I like to go backside and hold this angle here for the push.